second favorite sort of surprise artist of the year was completely on a whim. You know, when you're having those moments on iTunes and you decide to just start buying new music. Brigit Mendler, I really liked her single Ready or Not, and I was just going to buy the single. And then the album was on sale or something, or it seemed cheap to me for some reason. I was like, I'll just buy the whole album. And sometimes, generally when that happens, I'm like, I like 2 or 3 songs, and then I wish I hadn't actually bought the entire album. But in this instance, like, I don't think there's a single song that I'm like, I hate this song. Like, and that never happens anymore. Like, and so she's, once again, a pop artist. She comes, I think, from the Nickelodeon or Disney Channel sort of world. So she's a young woman, I think 18 or 19 years old. But she's got a strong, sassy sort of sounding voice. Ready or Not was in the top 50. It wasn't a huge hit, but, you know, it's got radio play and stuff like that. But the whole album is consistently strong, where she really shows the dynamics of her voice, and she's got a really good voice. It's not one of those pop singers that has this much range and then they do all the other things to it to make it sound like she's better than she is. And I like, so far, I mean, this is her first album, she's burgeoning, you know, singing career, she's mostly been an actress, but the fact that she has not become this like sideshow of her talent, like it is still about her talent and what her talent is. Artists like Kesha and Lady Gaga, it's the sideshow that becomes more important than the actual talent of what their, you know, voice is. And that's what, you know, I like this, you know, like, it's just a great fun album too. Lots of upbeat, poppy music that is surprisingly, on a couple of like listens through, like surprisingly deep as well. And she's been writing a lot of her, or co-writing most of her music as well, which I appreciate, especially in young artists. And so it was a delightful surprise that I was like, oh wow, a whole album that I liked.
Well, and I had heard Ready or Not before, which is a song I like a lot, and then it was offered as an iTunes free single. There's another song of hers called Hurricane, and I really, really like the song Hurricane. I've played it probably 50 times since I downloaded it. I really like that song. And again, one of the things that you mentioned that I think is super important, especially for young artists, is that she co-wrote, I think, every song on that album. And to be able to do that, I think it helps a lot, especially with a young artist, that you can kind of have some understanding of who you are and put a little bit of yourself into the music. So, because a lot of times pop music, and pop music in particular, artists can sometimes seem very disconnected to the material.
Right.
Because they're not writing it. The production team, you know, The Matrix or Dr. Luke or, you know, Max Martin is writing everything. He's writing the music, he's writing the lyrics, he's writing everything. And then they hand it to you and you go, all right, and you want me to sing it how?
Exactly.
And whereas to have somebody that's her age, who's a co-writer on all of her albums, and people laugh when I say this, but that was one of the things I thought made the Spice Girls better than most of the other pop artists of their era, and a lot of people don't know, the Spice Girls wrote or co-wrote almost every song that they performed. And because of that, the songs have personality, and they have flavor, and they suit the people that are performing them. They're not just something that's like, oh, well, I was going to give this to this person, but they don't want it, so here you have it.
Right.
You know, and you know, I have listened to a lot of the songs on that Brigit Mendler album because you recommended it to me, and I have been constantly surprised at how much I like each track on its own, independent of the other songs that I knew I liked already.
Right.
So it was really, really good.